What is international marketing and how it is different from any regular marketing?
In the classic sense, there's no difference between international marketing and marketing. It's marketing at the end of the day. It is about identifying a need, creating a product, having the right place or the right way of delivering it, and making sure the customer comes back to you, to buy more of it or to consume more of it. So that's the basic tenet of marketing. The flavor that international adds is it's a complexity that's about it. There's another dimension that gets added to this, which is the moment I have to reach to people in, say, 5 countries, number one is a cultural difference. So people behave, talk, understand based on the cultural background that they come from. So same service or the same product may be very differently perceived in a different nation because of the cultural differences that are there. So that's number one difference when you need to keep in mind when you are thinking of taking a product international or taking a service international. The second most important thing is the demographics. Every country has a very different demographic makeup. If you see in India, we're a very young nation. I mean, majority, almost 50% of the population is in the 20s. And that is one of the strengths of this country. So our products, our services, a lot of our communication, messaging, etc. is heavily designed for the youth. But if you take the same thing to Japan and have the same tonality, you might completely fall flat because that's a country of aging population. So the needs and the way people perceive the same need is very different from how it is. So the second thing that you need to keep in mind is the demographics of the place. The third is the operating culture. Every country or every culture has a way of operating. In some places, for example, in India, we have a certain way of operating. We always are reverent to our elders, whether it is in a business environment or in a family environment. In some other countries, for example, in the North Americas or in the US, it's a very individualistic culture. So what you sell or what you want to market needs to satisfy the need of the individual more than the family or the social circles. So you need to be sensitive to those things. So basically, in terms of the basic tenets, there is no difference whether I am marketing for one country or 5 countries. The additional layer that you need to keep in mind when you're looking at international is look at the cultural sensitivities, look at the demographic sensitivities of every nation. And within a nation also there may be differences, in culture. For example, if a North American client is coming into India or a product company is coming into India, he has to design something very different from the south of India to the north of India and to the east of India. You can't just have one package fits all. So how do you do that? So the second is demographics and the third is the operating culture. Be sensitive to the operating culture and the business operating culture of each of those countries. There are also legal stuff which are different in each of the countries. Some product which is listed as healthy in a country is banned in another country. I mean, take for example a small thing like a Kinder Joy. I don't know if any of you have seen. It's a egg-shaped chocolate. It's very popular among kids in India. You find a lot of advertisements. It's banned in the United States. So you would have to be. And there is a reason for it being banned. It doesn't satisfy some regulations that FDA has set up. So you have to be sensitive to that. To be aware of the regulations, especially in regulatory environments like pharmacy, healthcare, pharmaceuticals, not pharmacy, pharmaceuticals and healthcare. There is a huge, and food, there's a huge regulatory environment which differs from country to country. So an international marketer needs to be sensitive about it while designing any kind of marketing campaigns.